So I would like to give a small working agreement to everybody, and then introduction to myself and Rajkumari and you. Slowly we'll onboard you, and then we would get into the topics. That is all, and this is a very first podcast with coaches I'm doing. Previously, we started with Scrum Master transition topics only, so we are starting with very first for you. So yeah, hello, hi, good afternoon. We picked up a time, asked for Divya's availability, basically. Otherwise, we generally pick up, evening times, but that is very fine. And Divya has lot of experience into particularly what I do observe lot of coaches in my free time. So that is how I came through Divya, and what Divya is generally being expertise. What I understood, Divya can correct me if I am wrong. Okay, Divya is a guest where she can help us on the mindset. How do we shift the mind from you know traditional mindset to agile mindset or agility in a career, and what is the importance on the emotional intelligence in this career. So probably that is what we are looking forward to like listen her and understand, and probably we have some questions and all, then we'll get into that. And that is all we will do. But this session is Divya, it is getting recorded, and everybody else it's getting recorded. So any questions anybody wanted to ask, they can ask last 15 minutes. And before than that, we will have my co-host as Rajkumari for this podcast today's session, and she would be even actually introducing with everybody what everybody does and herself. And then I will set the working agreements first, what exactly we will go with the agenda and topics and the sequence, and probably then we will carry on with Dibya and the topics, and then some questionnaires, quick questionnaires, and that's all about next 45 minutes or 50 minutes. That's what we are looking forward. So introducing myself, this Anant here, and probably people are knowing me here, whomever I am seeing now. I am having 17 years of IT experience, close to 18 now, and it is basically agile coaching training space, and I am a SAFe licensed trainer. I do train SAFe. Yeah, so that is all about crisp and short. I don't want to go with my introduction in largely. And Rajkumari as an co-host, I know her from the community now, and she is ready to contribute a lot, and she is contributing also. So yeah, that is all. She is having almost 13 14 years IT experience, and with that said, she is you know she is kind of a what I know about the special qualities are what I can explain. She is very good in communication and presentation, and now she is moving to mentoring, and she is trying to mentor coaching Jones. She is trying to get into there, and all others whoever is attending, probably they are also looking forward similar kind of thing. So it would be very valuable session to hear from Dibya. And now I wanted to introduce clearly to Dibya. Dibya is having like, okay, almost kind of 13 years experience. So that's what IT experience, and out of that 8 plus years as an coaching, team coaching, and all this different kinds of coaching. I wanted to hear from her. I don't wanted to give that, kind of that I should explain, because that is, I guess, the way she can explain, and I have seen her seeing in videos, postings, and all. So that was very nice. So that is how I do come across with her profile. And Dibya, I would like you to introduce yourself, okay? And Rajkumari, then probably we can go ahead with the question, and with set up question and topics. You can brief about the topic. Then first thing, I would like Dibya to introduce herself to this audience, and then second, Rajkumari would be introducing the topic, and then third, probably Dibya, you have to continue for 15-20 minutes with the topics. What exactly you wanted to explain, and give a brief overview, and that is all. Then we'll get into questionnaire sessions and everything else. That's all. Here I am stopping my video. and I am making like okay everybody else to be online. Divya and Rajkumari, it is over to you. Divya is going to start her introduction.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Anand. It was beautifully said, and it is a very structured way. I'm truly grateful and thankful to meet you, Rajkumari, and also the amazing participants here. I'm truly grateful and thankful for giving me a chance to interact with you in this fine Saturday. So, my name is Divya Raviraj, and I am a professional team coach, and I am also a life coach. So, I'm going to tell you a little bit of how I become a life coach later, but this is my profile. I have worked with many entrepreneurs, many C-suite people, for helping them to solve the people related issues. I'm also a speaker at Joe's Talks. I'm featured in Daily Tandi, and I also involved in many panel discussions and many speaking with companies on the importance of emotional intelligence and mental health. I'm also pursuing counseling psychology. I'm so much into emotional intelligence and psychology, and this is my short profile.
Yeah, that short profile looks very long now. Okay. to- so we'll get through. We'll get through. Actually, I am very much interested. I am not a psychological coach or something, but I am very much interested to know the different aspects and viewpoints of
Yeah.
psychological,
Mm,
psychological behavior. How do you improve? How do
mm,
you uh, not it is only for myself, it is when I'm
mm,
working for corporate, even it is in the relation, even it is with others, employees, colleagues. So we how do we improve their mindset and their
mm,
psychological thoughts?
mm.
I am very much happy to listen and glad to listen all of that from you.
Yes.
And probably the audience what we are seeing now, 14 15 audience, they might be looking at least 12 audience, they would be looking forward same. So yeah, that is all I can quickly say it. So if you have anything to be specific, to be continued with your introduction, you wanted to
Yes.
get into some success story what you have achieved
Yes.
throughout your career, and why did you choose this path? Basically, why did you choose
Yes.
that path? I wanted
Yeah.
to hear that as an
Yes.
introduction even.
Yeah, it's a good and interesting question, Anand. Because I am also a corporate professional. I started my career in Amazon as a test engineer. So I worked in Amazon for almost 2 years, and then I worked in Fidelity Investment. So what happened after the Fidelity Investment? I was a senior test analyst. So I thought like I want to try some startups and I want to learn more from them. So I just joined a startup, and what happened in the startup is I was by the time a certified Scrum Master. So the startup was forming newly, and they had a demand, maybe I will call it, to someone to take the hat of a Scrum Master and start training the teams and put set up the proper Scrum ways of working. So what happened? The I mean, the team had a lot of senior people, and when I tried to coach them to transform to Scrum, it was actually very difficult for me because they have been conditioned in a certain way. They have been working on waterfall for a long time, and all of a sudden, when I tried to teach them Agile, they weren't so sure of the framework. Of course, psychology says like human doesn't like change, so they did not like change at all. So there was a lot of red flags and resistance to the Scrum Master and the Agile ways of working, and it had an emotional impact on me as well. Like when there is so much of resistance, imagine you're going to a team and every day you're hated because you are a process person, how you will feel, right? I had the same feel, and that was the time that I had a wake up call that I really wanted to understand why people behave the way they behave. So I wanted the background behind why there is so much of resistance, why people are behaving in a certain way, if they are rude or if they are soft. I wanted to know what is the background, why they are soft and why they are rude. So I started my own research actually, reading a lot of books, starting from science, neuroscience, from Dr. Joe Dispenza, and about cell biology from Dr. Bruce Lipton. And I got really fascinated and attracted by the field psychology. And later on, I also turned a life coach because by the time I turned life coach, I was around 28 years of age, and I already had lot of experience in coaching many people in terms of agile and mindset transformation. So I thought like I had a deep calling for life coaching also. So I started pursuing, and slowly I also wanted to become a psychologist. So I enrolled a tie up with a good institution where I also learned psychology. So this is just like a calling. Like I started engineering without knowing why did I chose it, but when I choose psychology, I have lot of clarity on why do I choose it.
Yeah, okay. I would wanted to. I have an interesting question. It might be, it might not be in the topic, but I wanted to ask you now personally
Yes.
by listening.
Yeah.
So, how does life coaches are being engaged in corporate? Do you have a JD for life coaches? If I wanted to apply,
Actually, it is super difficult to, as a, like, if you position yourself as a life coach in an organization, they might be like, no, 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 it's not for corporate world. But what you have to do is you have to position yourself as an emotional intelligence expert, because now, many corporate companies are valuing a mental well-being. So if you are going as a, if, for me, I am authorized to do counseling to people, so I can
hmm,
call myself like mental health counselor. So
hmm,
if you go as a mental health counselor or emotional intelligence expert, you will have a good reception of
hmm,
from corporate world. But if you term yourself like a life coach, with which, it's still an emerging topic in India. Because
hmm,
if you see other countries and all,
Hmm.
especially USA and other countries, you can see a lot of people, having different kinds of coaches, like self love coach and
hmm,
trauma healing coach, and lot of coaches. In this coaching itself, there are so much of varieties. But here in India, this coaching is only now booming. So when I started my LinkedIn journey 3 or 4 years back, when I started as a mindset coach, that's how I called myself to position myself in LinkedIn. Many people are asking, "What is this mindset coach?" I'm really curious. What do you do? Why do I
hmm,
need a mindset coach? I don't need it like that. So I faced a lot of resistance for the first 3 or 4 months of posting in LinkedIn. Some people
hmm,
were humiliating, mocking, and all of that. But later on, after I started cultivating the awareness of how our day-to-day life is just impacted by psychology, then they started accepting. Because if you are positioning yourself as an emotional intelligence coach, maybe in corporate world, first you have to teach them why it is very important. There are not so awareness about the importance of emotional intelligence in workplace. So we have to teach them with case studies, and then they will accept like, yeah, we really have a problem and that needs a fix.
the problem itself, it is not clear. What you mean to
Exactly.
say?
Yes.
Okay, so you have to define the problem,
Yes.
basically. Okay, so Divya, nice to hear that, but I do
Mm,
see there are some JDs where it is written emotional intelligence.
mm,
These terms are written in the down the
mm.
line. It is not
Yes.
capturing in a
Mm,
very well mannered,
mm.
but it is captured in last two lines. I do
Yes.
see 20% of the JD what I
Yes.
feel I have seen
Yes.
now
Mm,
with my career. But now the question is,
mm.
I'm going into a different dimension with
Yes.
that
Yes.
question
Yeah.
asking. Let's assume that everybody is whoever is you are seeing in the right panel,
Mm,
probably they would be interested to hear, okay, if I get into that space as
mm,
a scrum master or
mm,
anything, any role,
mm,
any leadership
mm,
role,
mm,
then how do we bring that excellence, that emotional
mm,
intelligence and
mm,
other thing, how do we implement it
mm.
slowly? So I
Yeah.
just wanted to hear you for 1 minute
Yes.
or 2 minutes, then you can go with the topic, and
Sure.
Rajkumari will go with the hosting the topic and all. But
Yeah.
yeah, I just wanted to hear that. Yeah,
Yes,
go ahead.
that's a good question, Anand. So, if you feel like emotional intelligence itself is not accepted by the IT companies, then you can put yourself as a change transformation catalyst. So, this is a widely, spread topic across the IT world. So, if you see, the when you see this change transformation experts or catalyst, it means they are very experts in change, not in terms of just a process change or shifting the, the ways of working, but it is also about they will be helping in terms of bringing the mindset and also the culture inside the team.
Cultural.
For that, emotional intelligence plays a very important role. So if you feel like some of the corporate companies maybe if you wanted to put emotional
Mm.
intelligence in resume, instead of putting it, if you want still a layman term, maybe you can put like I'm a change transformation catalyst where I have facilitated the change, a
Mm.
massive change in the organization from so and so to so and so. It doesn't only involve people but also the emotions of the people. So when a change happens, you also involve with their emotions, you travel with them, and that's where the emotional intelligence plays a very very important role.
So basically, the emotion is linked with the culture. When you are,
Yes.
you cannot, you
Yes.
decouple it. It is
Yes.
very hard line, but you cannot decouple it. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, we'll get into that deep, and I would give that opportunity to you to speak lot, so that yeah, Rajkumari, you can introduce the topic, and then Divya can start with. Yeah. Thanks. Handing over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Anand. So today we are going to talk the same topic which Divya was talking about, the essence of mindset shift and emotional intelligence in agility as a career. So we can start with the Q&A, right, Divya, Anand?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Okay, fine. So yeah, I have many questions, but I know we cannot cover everything. We will
Sorry.
go with few
We'll
of
we'll
them.
go with the Q&A last. Let
Ah,
Divya has to speak about the title bit about, and
Okay.
okay.
make the audience comfortable. So what I'm trying to say, why we choose the topic and why we choose Divya as a guest. I
Mm,
think psychological safety is a term which is being
Yes.
used everywhere,
mm,
and I heard and I saw her recommendations. I go through generally with the profiles recommendations, and I do see that people are keep saying as an it is not about process. They are not recommending her as an process. They are recommending her as an life coach, and what the positivity she brings. I might have you know, observed positivity keyword in her profile, I guess at least 16, 17 times. That's what I know. So now what my thought is that positivity comes only because of probably emotional intelligence and the
Yes.
mindset
Yes.
changing.
Mm.
So I picked up the topic in that way, so that she can explain us more, and she can explain the career in that. And if
Okay.
somebody wanted to get into there, then how could we get into as an
Yes.
individual? Let's assume
Mm.
that I am a 8 year or 9 year guy, okay, and I wanted to get into that career. How do
Mm.
I get into that career?
Mm.
And let's assume that I don't wanted to get into that career, but somehow I wanted to utilize that partially. Then how could I do? One thing she had cleared, the JDs are not coming that clearly. Life coaches are needing, or relationship coaches, career coaches, we need it in our corporate. But when we say coach, they do mean everything with the terms of agile coach. So we cannot separate it out completely also. So it's a flavor. What we are going to know here today, probably a flavor that would help for everybody. Yeah, Divya, it is over to you.
Yeah.
I
Thank you,
have opened the
Anant.
topic.
Yeah, thank you, Anant. And before I explain what is emotional intelligence, I want to give you a case study, okay, based on a true story.
mm,
So what
mm,
happened? A so and so person, okay, they worked as a coach in a company. And what happened when the so and so person has onboarded themselves as a team coach or as a scrum master? Uh, a lady who was running the company, okay, she was trying to form a team. So what happened for her to form the team, to train the people, to get the skill set, okay, all of this took her ample amount of time. So she was the one who knows complete about the product. She was the one who's also a technical expert, a CEO kind of person. So what happened? She hired many people. She started training them, and she started giving them knowledge transfer. All the skill set, everything happened. And then the coach also entered, helping her all through the transformation. And then what happened after 6 or 7 months? Now she thought like, okay, now because I trained a lot of people, the dependency would have got reduced, and the team members will start running my show. They will start delivering the goals that I have. So after 6 7 months, she started giving handovers. We call it handovers, right? So handovers to the particular position people, like say developers and testers, and all this. What happened? After 6 or 7 months of doing this, the coach observed that the CEO has anger issues. Okay. So what happens whenever delivery doesn't happen on time, or whenever there is a deviation from the plan that she expected to happen, she used to blast the team, because she don't actually control her emotions, and she used to blast the team completely. Once or twice, okay. What happened? This was happening continuously in every call or every sprint. At the end of sprint, when there is a call happens, if the expected result is not met, she used to blast like anything, and she is not an active listener. So what happened? She used to blast, and she will not listen to the point that the other people are trying to say, even if it was highly valid. So this continued, and after 1 year or so, what happened? Everybody started putting papers and leaving her organization. So what happened? She put a lot of training cost. Okay, a lot of cost in hiring the people and giving them salary, and everybody started leaving it. Now she came back to the same place where she started, which is like forming the team once again. So it is really painful. And the coach tried to educate her many times that she has to really manage her anger, but this doesn't happen. This is a true case study. So, this is why I'm saying emotional intelligence is very important. The reason is, when it comes to delivery, or when it comes to software delivery or something, it is tangible. Okay. But when it comes to emotional intelligence, it is intangible. You cannot see the results directly. So, what happens? Because I'm not able to see the emotional intelligence through my eyes, it is not required in corporate. This is what people are thinking. But indirectly, imagine what the CEO has got into. She has to start the team once again. Her services are not being delivered to her client. Of course, she lost the profit revenue, and also, she lost the goodwill of people and everything. It's only because she was blasting the team members and was not able to control her anger in the call. So this is one such example of why emotional intelligence is important. Now I'm going to tell you what is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is not about being emotional, or entertaining emotions at workplace. It is about a person who is really aware of their own emotions, a person who's capable enough to regulate their emotions. Okay, a person who's capable enough to manage their emotions at workplace or wherever they are, so that this is not causing an hindrance to connect with the team members or to connect with other people meaningfully. So you are aware of your own emotion, at the same time you are having the ability to understand other people emotions also. You cannot feel their emotions, but you can understand, so that you have a conscious choice of words not to break that relationship or meaningful connection that you have. So this is pretty much I want to tell about the topic. So now I think Anand asked other question, like, okay, how do I put my profile with emotional intelligence in the corporate world, right? So usually, if you see in many big MNCs, they have a committee for well-being itself, and usually the HR will be arranging those topics. Like, you will get a lot of emails saying we have a stress management workshop, we have a mental well-being, like mental well-being sessions. Please do join it, like that. So, likewise, mental well-being is not a topic that should be away from your team. It is like, it is not out of the team, or it is not out of scope for the team. It is part of the team. Every day everyone is carrying certain kind of emotions to workplace, and if you wanted to really connect with them to get the job done in future, the future, I always tell that the future of leadership is not just AI but also EI. So it's not only artificial intelligence but emotional intelligence as well, because if you have to get the job done from people, you have to first connect with them. People, the kind of instruction giving uh, job done is getting obsolete now. Like, I'll just give you instruction, you just have to do whatever I say is getting obsolete, because the world is filled with lot of opportunities, and it is very easy for a person to switch from one opportunity to other opportunity. So money or designations alone cannot hold a person for a long time. But if you wanted a long term relationship, where you are retaining your employees in the company, means you should give them some kind of space for growth. There should be a space for respect, there should be a space for inclusivity, and all of this is covered under emotional intelligence.
I have one quick question. Listening to you for 10 minutes, Dibya, is it something that emotional intelligence when I am thinking? So, as a Scrum Master, I
Hmm.
have joined somewhere in the company, let's assume that. And I do see that, people are asking a question,
Hmm.
what are the workshop been played? Can I
Hmm.
answer also stress management?
Hmm.
Even I have done that workshop to
Hmm.
my teammates as an workshop. Can it
Hmm.
be that answer?
Of course, actually, when you answer them, I mean, if you have proper knowledge on that, and
Hmm,
if you answer like, hey, this is how you can manage stress, means this is one such way of building a connection with your team, right? There is nothing wrong in it. So they will also feel vulnerability. See, any kind of meaningful connections have some kind of vulnerability
hmm,
in it. So you cannot connect with the other person in a surface level and build a meaningful connection. If you wanted a meaningful connection, you have to get deep with them with some healthy boundaries, proper
hmm.
boundaries. You should know where to stop also. So uh, that cases, if they are asking like, hey Divya, I'm not really feeling well, I'm really sure I'm not mentally unwell, and if you're giving them like, maybe you can try that or try this, you're normally creating a connection with them without making any kind of connection stunts, like taking them for a dinner. You don't need all of this. If you have emotional intelligence, you don't need a team bonding activity. You don't need to take them for a dinner, or you don't need to take them for a party to connect. This will
So,
happen naturally. And people, because they feel psychologically safe with you to be themselves, so they don't have any problem to disconnect with you.
so what is the first step? What is the first step? I have joined a new team.
Yeah.
Okay. What is my first step to be doing as
As a
emotionally
scrum master,
intelligent?
you mean?
Yeah, as a scrum master, team coach,
Okay,
or coach,
so the
whatever.
first step is like, I'm seeing this pattern. I was mentoring a girl, and I told her like, the moment you join a team, do not try to directly please them. See, psychologically, what happens is we need a validation from the people around us, and we
Hmm,
want them to think good about us.
hmm,
So at the moment, you join the company, you will become so enthusiastic to gel with them immediately. Hey, come on, let's do that, let's do this. So it all looks very artificial. But if you want to connect with them, first you have to understand them. For that, first you have to give the time that is needed to observe the people around you, like what kind of people are they, what kind of mindsets they have, so that you understand their language is not in terms of English or Hindi, not like that. They understand the language of their emotions, so that you are giving you enough time. So the first thing is observation. You have to observe. Don't try to please them immediately. Don't try to get good name from them immediately. Just give yourself enough time to observe the people and understand their language of emotions, and then slowly, you have to focus on building the trust. For example, if you're joining as a scrum master, try to have a one-on-one with them to understand what kind of problems they have inside the team, and get an action items and show some results to them, and slowly the trust will be automatically built.
yeah, I understand, but what kind of emotional intelligence I have to
Hmm.
build it? How do I improve their
Yes.
emotional intelligence? Do you have any
Yeah.
techniques or methodologies? Can you name it something like, okay, by reading that or referring to
Hmm.
that, we can improve our emotional intelligence?
Yes.
That is what the question,
Good
because
question,
we have
Anand.
only 40 minutes or for 50 or 45 minutes,
Hmm.
right? So people wanted to take some notes so that they can go back.
Yes. So if you want your team to be emotional intelligence, you cannot teach them emotional intelligence. You have to actually inspire them. So how this inspiration starts? That starts with you. So before you teach somebody what is emotional intelligence, first you have to become the emotional intelligence person. So if you ask me how I can become an emotionally intelligent person, Divya, then it starts with self awareness. Okay, take a note and pen and then write down self reflection, like what are all the triggers I have, what triggers me, what make me anxious, what makes me feel overwhelmed with emotions. So start with self awareness, and create a futuristic goal. See, when you start self awareness for the first time or self reflection for the first time, please understand that you will have some 100 to 200 triggers, and you cannot fix all of them at once. So you choose one trigger that is making you impactful impacting your social well-being, because World Health Organization says that well-being is not just about physical, it is also about physical, mental and social well-being as well. So if you have certain kind of trigger, for example, I am a short tempered person, like that, if you feel like I have a short temper, like the moment when someone says, I will blast them, like the case study that I told about the anger management, right? So look at for all these kinds of things that is impacting your social well-being, okay, and then take one step at a time, like how you are going to fix it. If you need a therapy to fix it, you can go for it. Or if you want to learn some self-regulative emotions like meditation or deep breathing, and there are so many exercises for self-regulation, if you want to start with that, then
Divya,
start it.
sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt. I would say one of my experience before 3 4 years.
Yeah.
You know, I had taken a class in an organization, and I have started this self breathing and all with them.
Mm,
Okay,
mm,
they felt like, okay, are we in a agile class or in a yoga class? That's the answer I got. Very honestly, I'm saying you,
mm,
and it happened to me.
mm,
I told we are in a yoga class. What's the
mm,
problem? No, I don't want yoga class. I can
mm,
do it as a yoga teacher better.
mm, mm,
Okay, that's kind of
mm,
feedback I got it.
mm,
And I told, probably you are in a mixed class. Yoga is starting, and we are going to agile
mm.
and coaching and mentoring.
Yeah.
So
So,
then the answer came. They cannot wait for that 15 minutes.
mm,
That yoga to convert into other topics.
okay.
So what kind of tips and tricks you wanted
Yes.
to
So the
say them?
first thing is emotional intelligence start with ourselves, and it doesn't mean that you just do it along with your team. Please don't have that mindset. So I do my emotional regulations when I am in my me time. So I don't do it in front of the team. So, how do you implement that in team? Again, I'm saying it starts with yourself first. You have to learn to manage your emotions, learn techniques that are all the personal growth investment that you do when in your me time. It is not something that you do along with a team. First thing. So you have to invest in yourself first. And second thing, and also understand that when you start investing in yourself, transformation is not an overnight journey. It took me 7 years to get into this place. So it's gonna take some time for us to be completely emotionally intelligent, but that journey is worth taking. So number one. And number two is when you are in meetings, okay, or if you wanted your team to be emotionally intelligent, then don't start with some kind of yoga class or deep breathing. No, we are not there to fix them. We are here to just manage the meetings, or just to bring the best out of people. That's it. So even in psychology and coaching, we have a oath, or we have a rule, thumb rule. Do you know what is the thumb rule?
No, I am not aware. Go ahead.
So the rule is we don't coach anyone or we don't give counseling to anyone who is not ready to take counseling. So this is
Yeah,
the,
it is agreement. It is a basically
yes, is
coaching
an
agreement,
agreement.
right? Yeah.
So you cannot fix anyone in the world. Okay, the only person that you can fix is yourself, your own emotions, and your own uh, like personality. So what when you're doing going for a meetings, and if you're having a meeting with your people, so set up a thumb rule, like like, or some rules for the meetings, like
Working agreement.
like working agreement, like the respect should be
Yeah.
respect is non-negotiable. And if you feel like you're getting emotional, please take a break. It is okay, just take 2 or 3 minutes break, regulate it, and then come back. So these kinds of empathy should be there in the meeting. So when an argument is getting heated up, you cannot continue the meeting. So as a facilitator, what you can do is you can say, hey, come on, man, it's okay, I think you're getting emotional, maybe take a break and come back. So these kinds of small rules that you put, and also keep them inclusive. So just because they show emotions, you cannot be very hard to them saying that, hey, come on, you're not supposed to show emotions like that. You just empathize with them, like, okay, you have got emotional, it's fine, just take your time, take a break, and let's continue later, like that. So by this time, what will happen is they will feel inclusive. Oh my god, I'm feeling inclusive, even though I have some challenges, like that. So these are the small tweaks that you can do in the meetings to impose emotional intelligence without even them knowing it is actually emotional intelligence.
Yeah, definitely. And I would also agree to that. I guess from last 4 years when I am training everybody, I am saying the first term to be used working agreements. I
Mm,
just being professional, I said them working agreements, but it is a coaching agreement, even mentoring
mm,
agreement. Yeah, I would. I would wanted to touch one last topic from my end.
Hmm.
Let's assume that somebody wanted to be life coach.
Hmm.
What he should do? Okay, he can do certain things as an individual.
Yes.
So are they going to join you, or are they going to join some courses, or what are they going to, what is the guideline basically, what is your experiences?
Yes. So if you wanted to become an life coach, the International Coaching Federation themselves are having
I see
many
agile.
aggregated life coaching institutes here. Maybe you can learn from there, and you can start building a profile in LinkedIn or Instagram or wherever you feel like is a comfortable place. Giving a lot of tips about the importance of stress and importance of life coaching and many things. And then with time and with consistency, you will start attracting clients slowly. For me, it actually took me 3 years of consistency for almost 1,000 plus days of posting in LinkedIn to
Hmm.
create a brand as a life coach in LinkedIn. So it's going to
So,
take some time, but if you have a passion, start with ICF life coaching certification, and then go about it.
so I see PCC, PCC you are talking about, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I just wanted to, yeah, I am also ICPCC certified. So I just thought of naming it clearly so that people can hear it. Okay. The question is, let's assume that I have done ICPCC and ICPCC. I wanted to ask a very secret question. I don't know whether how do you answer it. So, so right now, as a life coach, not an organization, if you are mentoring, what kind of people are coming? Not is it let me answer, let me question it properly. Is it something who wanted to be a mentee for
Mm,
you? Are
mm,
they only coming, or did you see a C level C shoot people,
mm,
or V shoot people from the
mm,
organization, they are also coming for their mental health?
mm.
Or is it something, have you heard that C should people also going to a coach, life coach, and
Yes,
how much they
I.
are paying? What is the money amount around that?
Uh,
So that,
this
so
is
that
a
no,
secret.
no,
I
no,
would
I'm not asking
could have
about
found
you.
it here.
I'm not asking about you, but what I'm saying, what is the money? Is,
Mm.
have you heard about, like, okay, in this
Yes,
business it is there?
yes,
Because that is a, see, that would inspire. Finally, it is a value, right? So people would be getting inspired. So that is how I'm
yeah, yeah, sure, sure,
positioning
sure.
myself.
Would be happy to help. So first thing is, I have a mix of audience. So 50% of people who come to my life coaching are entrepreneurs who are running their own company, and other people are our corporate people who are in different designations, mostly in the mid-level designations. So coming back to payment, it depends on
Per
what
hour,
is your.
like per hour sessions,
Yeah, per
how does charge?
yeah, per hour. If I have to talk it from the uh, place of counselor, I think per hour some people are charging 2,000 rupees, some people are charging 3,000, and I have seen people charging 3,500 also, based on the kind of brand they built, like the reputation they have.
Exactly.
So for if you're beginning as a life coach, and if you're just giving some kind of consultation, my recommendation would be, start with a little and then go for, once you get an expertise and skill set in that, you can go for the amount that you feel you deserve, because I can't say
No, no,
uh,
that's okay.
thing.
I heard people are even charging 10,000 and all,
Yes,
because I have
yes.
known it. Believe me, sometime back, if you would have asked me 3 years back, I was not believing. Oh, this business
Mm,
is having this much of money. Answer was coming, no, it cannot. Now I am believing. I'll be very
mm,
honest. So
yes,
after, unless until we do not see that, that
yes,
okay, it is happening
yes.
around you, we don't
If you
believe.
wanted a
That,
high ticket client, obviously, if you take a high ticket client, they will be, if they are working willing to work with you
mm,
long term, they are ready to pay in lakhs as well, like, but the
exactly.
provided that we are showing some good results.
Good results. So how do you measure it? Now the question, last question is,
Mm,
how do you measure there? Okay, they
mm.
are better. Is it something that, okay, it is only a self assessment? I should say
Mm.
no, I am better, or how do you measure it? Do
it
you
it
have some
goes both
parameters?
in hands in hands. How it is very difficult for a life coach to actually measure. However, when you give them a proper psychological safety, and we will tell them to rate themselves, like, out of 10, what is the level of anxiety that you have now, what
Hmm.
are the progresses in towards it. So we all consider all this factor. And because I'm also speaking in terms of a counselor, not just as a life coach, so when I act as a counselor, obviously, I'll be telling them to rate. So in this level of scale of anxiety, what is your anxiety level now? So after sessions and sessions, after the homework, we also have to give them homework, otherwise nothing will happen. As I say, be it a life coach or a mentor or a psychologist or even the best psychologist in the world, nobody can fix us until we are willing, like, okay, you offer me the help, I'm ready to fix myself. Until we have this mindset, it is difficult to fix them. So we also give them homeworks, and we will see the progress of the homeworks. Are they making some kind of progress in the homeworks? And later on, then, when they feel like, okay, I'm completely out of this particular situation or something, then we call it as a termination.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I guess I would say to you, even I would not been initially introduced myself, but it is actually when I coach nowadays, I mix with SAFe with IC Agile. Very honestly, I do rate for everything. So the the major and grow generally, that's the only techniques we can do. So probably I mix it. So nowadays even I'm keep saying that I'm mixing it, and I will mix it because that's what the flavor is. Anyways, nice to hear you, Divya. So this is exactly 11:43:44, and I would like to uh, open up the debates. If any questions from people, I would like to hear the questions from them, and we can exactly take 15 minutes here. We will be having a time box. Okay, so yeah, that's all. It goes for audience toss. Anybody? And Rajkumari, if you have any questions further, you can even ask them. And guys, please chat it if you have any questions or if you have anything. Yeah, Meer has a question. I got it. Meer, go ahead.
Hi Divya, nice to see you here. Yeah, she is my colleague in my previous company. So,
Oh,
so thank
great.
you so much for inspiring these things. So, just wanted to know, like learning on this emotional intelligence, and working along with the people. So, like after working along, how can I measure that if there is any difference or
Yeah, actually, see, psychology, emotional intelligence, these kinds of things are actually, it cannot be measured. However, if you want to measure it in a paper, what you can do is you can roll out a anonymous survey or something to your team, asking like, how comfortable are you feeling to express yourself? How comfortable are you to differ from your colleagues? So how comfortable or how happy are you? There's a happiness meter, no? How happy are you working for the team? So these kinds of surveys you can roll out along with some ratings, and from there, you can have a problem solving workshop or fear or hope workshop or some brainstorming workshop. So it's just that you have to capture that feeling in paper and create a workshop around it. Thank you for this question.
Yeah. So Meer, basically you got some workshops from her that can be utilized. Fear and
yeah?
all. Yeah. So
Thank you.
good question, Meer. Good question. Anybody? Anybody else?
So
Yeah,
good
Ramya,
morning,
go ahead.
Ananta. This is Ramya. So good morning, Divya. Thanks
Morning,
for
Ramya.
the lot of information given by you. It's very much inspiring. It's a very new angle to us that we have to be an emotional coach or the mental to make the I mean
I think
to
I
work
am
with the
having a
team.
problem with her
Yeah,
voice.
it
Is it
is
like,
bit noisy. I can hear it, but not that clear, Ramya.
can you
Very
help
honestly.
Now
me
is it
reframe it?
I'll reframe it. Yeah, go ahead,
Now
Ramya.
is it okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
So Divya, while just discussing, you just told when you are going to a new team, you have to understand the team and you should observe them and you should make sure that they are getting adapted to your methodology after you observing them. So obviously, you also mentioned that it takes a little bit time for the observation and all these things. For taking but the management with whom we are working will not be happy in giving us time for an observation. So
Yes.
now tell me how you can satisfy the management as well as you
How do
can
you balance?
work work with your team.
Yeah, good question, Ramya. Good question. Every management expect the results from day one itself. And you cannot tell your management or anyone. See, this is all the techniques that I am telling, like you have to implement it. It doesn't mean that you have to give all these implementation techniques in paper to your manager and telling them like I'm going to do that or do this. Don't do it, but have it in your mind that you have to observe them. However, your management will be definitely expecting the results from day one. That is undeniable. So what happens is, for example, if you have agile coach or a scrum master who has around 10 things that you observe as a team to be improved, what you can do is you can start with one by one. So instead of overwhelming with them with, hey, this team got this improvement, that improvement, and they will be like, oh my god, there is so much to improve. You can start with one thing at a time. So when you do it one thing at a time, and also ask them like, hey, how do you feel? I think we can implement this, and if we implement this, these are all the benefits. Tell me, what is there any challenges that you have? We call it mental model in scrum, right? So ask them like, what is their understand and study their mental model about the change that you are bringing in, like how they feel about the change, or what is the kind of hopes or fears they have about the change, and try to address it. And by this way you travel with them emotionally, I mean, as an emotionally intelligent person along with them. At the same time, you're not going to reveal it like, hey, come on, I'm implementing emotional intelligence on you, like that. So start it slowly. At the same time, capture the feelings of people with every change that you implement.
Thank you, Divya. Thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome, Ramya. It's a good
So
question.
yeah. So Ramya, my question was like, okay, just to add to Divya's thought, yeah, definitely we cannot change our leaders, right? Kind of that is what I'm getting. I have one more thought to add it. I don't know, Divya, whether we'll agree or not, but you as a Scrum Master, you are going to work how many hours with team? Probably more on team, less on leadership, correct? So when she said you have to go with the thought first yourself, then the team is around you most of the time, then the leadership. I'm
Yes.
not saying that you have to change the leadership mindset also. You have to, or you have to find a person who can change the mindset of the leadership now. You have to communicate. That is how the hierarchy or whatever. But I do not wanted to get into the topic. The answer is, yeah, team is very nearer to a scrum master, so it is easy quite to change. That's a mindset. But if you go for a leadership, how many times I would have met my leaders? Only weekly once, 30 minutes. Do you think that we can change it? But spending time with team, trust, building trust and all, you know, let's assume that your team is every day sits near to you and do everything with you. So 30 into 8 or 20 into 8, 160 hours you are spending with them. Now for leaders, probably we are just spending in a month 10 hours, or not 10 hours, even 2 hours, correct? When it matches to at least 30 hours or 60 hours, you see the confidence, then you can change it probably. That's what she answered. Time, I am just reflecting in this way, calculative way now, probably. Anyways, yeah, Ramya, thanks. Hope you are
Thank you, sir.
hearing. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Divya,
go ahead, Raj.
Rashekar here. Okay.
Hello, Rajshekar.
Yeah, yeah. It's nice to hear you regarding the emotional intelligence. Okay. This is because of I always thinking on the AI only. You introducing AI.
See,
Okay.
Rajasekar,
My pleasure.
we forgot about our intelligence. We are
Yeah, yeah.
talking about only artificial intelligence.
Absolutely, no, no. It's work in the retrospective in the moment. Okay, I need to understanding the team psychological health. Okay, how
Mm,
the team is good or not bad. Like it's personal or professional. Okay, but thing is, how can I expect that their personal things? How can I understanding because of she's good or not? Okay, sometimes the team is not open up their personal things. Okay,
mm.
they're not open up that. How can I you're saying that we need to emotionally connect with them? Okay, I'm not able to connect with my team member in that moment. Any
Good
suggestion
question.
for that?
Good question,
Good
Raj.
question,
Very
and I
good
wanted to
question.
add, Divya. Divya, I wanted
Actually,
to add a question.
see,
Suhani, you know, right?
one.
No, no, Suhani, you know, right, Divya? So I need to be Suhani, like mind reader. So to know their teammates mindset. So that is what Rajsekhar indirectly prompting. So
Yes.
should we how do we know? Go ahead, Divya, sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt.
Actually, it's a very, very difficult question to answer because, if you want to understand your team members, first you have to understand how your body and mind works, right? So we have to understand, like, what are all the things, that we feel trigger, what is at least a little bit of what is people pleasing or what is external validation. If you know these kinds of names, like, when are you pleasing people, when are you looking for always validation from others, and if you know these kinds of, not too much depth of psychology, but at least a high level of this would actually help to understand when your team members are people pleasing, when your team members are asking for external validation kind of thing. However, your question is very, very right, that you cannot force your team members to connect with you personally until they are okay to connect with you. However, if you are giving your team members psychological safety to be themselves, okay, if they, when they are working with Raj or when they are working with Divya, if they feel like, oh my god, I can express myself, I can differ with them, I can have my conflict of interest, I mean, my conflict safely, I mean, psychologically safe, if I can do this safely, naturally, over the time, they will feel good to open up to you because they trust you. So the element is the trust, and to bring the trust in the team, it starts with giving them safe space to be themselves. Like, I'm not feeling scared when I'm with Raj, that he will judge me or he will humiliate me or he will mock me. I feel safe with him. If this safe space is established with you, then this meaningful connection or having a good deeper understanding about you will automatically happen as a side effect.
But Divya, sometime I am also thinking I cannot be safe with everybody, or everybody cannot be safe
That's
with.
okay.
Okay,
You cannot
so
please everyone, and
yeah,
Steve
that's
Jobs used to say
yeah.
that if you have to be liked by everybody, then you have to start selling ice cream like that. However, in these cases also, there are times where your team member might not be able to connect with you, but that's okay. That's just 10% of the people out of 100. If you win the hearts of 90%, 10%, it's okay. It's okay. We all have
So
people who don't connect with us, and that's completely okay. But if you majoritively have psychologically safe space with people, normally, the if 80% or at least 90% of the people is feeling safe with you, this connection will be established inside your team.
so safe means is it something you mean also, like, okay, I'm being very positive when I talk to you. Let's assume that I feel it. Okay, let's if that is the energy I'm feeling, does
Hmm.
that also includes inclusiveness to safe here? Like I am feeling very
No,
positive.
actually, yes, very positive. But being positive is not something that we can fake it out. Being
Hmm.
positive itself takes lot of work on ourselves. Like, we have to work on ourselves. We have to understand our traumas, childhood traumas. We have to understand our triggers in life. We have to understand, where we need healing. So all of this. So if you have interviewed me, maybe when I was 23 or 24, you
Hmm.
wouldn't even have preferred me. I
Hmm.
was that, negative mindset in
Agree.
life. But later on, with a lot of works and lot of efforts on healing my childhood traumas, effort on healing my limiting beliefs, and a lot of psycho education, we call it. After all of this, I am here. So if you want to be positive, you cannot, like, hey, come on, I'm a positive person. You cannot say that. You have to live by that. And when I say psychological safety, how I can build a safe connection with somebody, it starts with active listening first. Okay, we have to listen to them
नाही, मग रॉकीचा
without
बाराटा वाजला आणि
cutting
मी
them
खायदली
out
तिथे
when
काकडी.
they are having conversation with them, with us. Second thing is empathy.
हां.
Empathy means it's not about being sympathetical towards the journey, like, oh my god, I think this person is going through depression, so let him not work, or not like that. But understanding that, okay, this person have some problem, you are putting yourself on their shoes to understand, okay, why do they behave it. For understanding purpose, empathy always works. So active listening and empathy, and along with boundaries is very important, because even if they tell you a lot of things from their personal life, you cannot fix all of it. So when it comes to a professional meeting, you have to put boundaries there. So what do you do with the boundaries? Because I know some of my team members deepest stories and all their traumas and everything. But however, when it comes to the meeting or something, I cannot say like, okay, you don't need to participate well because you have a trauma kind of thing. Or I cannot also use their personal to be against them or gossip about it to somebody else. Hey, come on, this guy has a trauma or this lady has a trauma kind of thing. That is also make you lose trust on your team members will lose trust on you. So you understand them, you have a lot of empathy and active listening, but once you know what is their personal, you don't do anything with this. So that's how you build the trust with them, and eventually they will be able to have a connection. Like when you say something or when you don't say something, they will understand you. That is the beauty of emotional intelligence. When you say no, don't do this, or when you say please do this, they will understand. Okay, if Divya or Raj say something, then there would be definitely a reason behind it. They will not say just like that kind of thing.
So it is something like, okay, if there is anything else you need, then connect to Dibya. That is an emotional intelligence we got by this time. Okay, Raj.
Yeah,
So so okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, last 2 minutes. I just wanted to take a last question. If anybody, Bidusi, Suleka, or anybody, Suleka, yeah, Suleka, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Amit. Hey, hi, Divya.
Hi, Sureka.
Yeah, Divya, I'd like to just understand, like, even though, like, initially you shared one of the, like, one person, like, entrepreneur, like, she was angry and all. So, in from that scenario, actually, then she understood that team or feeling that, like, she's being harsh on them. So, and she realized I'm being nice to them and, like, having a, like, normal other activity, general talks with them. Even though, like, in that scenario, how team will be thinking, like what their thoughts will be, how we can get to know that.
Yeah, good question, Sureka. I really liked it. So now let's assume that the CEO, so and so CEO who had anger management issues, is now getting better with that. She's very good in improving her anger management. If the team is visibly seeing the results, and if she could be able to, I saw in Instagram, I'm following one of an entrepreneur. I have a good talk with him as well. So recently he posted, okay, in Instagram saying that how his ADHD is a mental health challenge.
Yeah,
So how his ADHD has actually made him not to mingle with people properly, and he has also confessed it. Because I had ADHD, if I have treated you in a bad way, I'm really sorry for that. So he is becoming vulnerable, not to please people, but it is coming from a place of deep profound realization. Like, hey, I'm really sorry that I have behaved in a certain way, but henceforth I will take ownership of my emotions. I'll take ownership of my life. Like that, if it is coming from the so and so CEO's profound realization, okay, then the team will be able to see the changes. However, in the case of CEO, it has already become too late. Like people started leaving the company. Second thing is, even after people started leaving the company, she was still unwilling to put on the work on herself behind the ego that she has. So sometimes what happen, if I had to work on myself, I have to really confess to myself like, yes, I have anger management issues and I have to work it. But if someone is refusing like, no, 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 I am really really perfect and I don't have any anger management, you cannot do anything for them. So in her case, she was in the second category where she was not able to realize it, and her ego was completely closing her eyes from seeing what are all the mistakes that she had. I hope did I answer your question, Sureka?
yeah, yes, Divya. Yeah, and Divya, one more question from my side, another one. So there is a certain way of working like professional and the personal, right? So maybe you have like when you are like professionally working in a workplace, you might be dealing with the team members in a different perspective and work wise, because you cannot be like a very jovial in workspace, like okay and all. So, but when we have like a team outings or like team dinners, parties and all, so then there will be like you will be like another person, like okay,
Mm,
you're the same, like you're a different person, like
mm,
it's not a workplace, so even you want to enjoy along with your team members. So how that will differentiate, because people judge you for that also. Oh,
Absolutely.
okay, she is like in party something outing and all, she is someone else, and in workplace she is someone else.
Yeah.
So why is that actually? Is it a good thing or a bad thing?
The thing is, uh, it's a good thing or bad thing.
I
I
wanted to
don't want to
answer it
conclude
actually.
it whether
Divya,
it
I
is
wanted to
good.
answer this question of
Yes.
Sulekha.
Yeah.
Actually,
So
Yes,
you
please,
continue.
Anand.
I will take 30 seconds to answer this question, particularly last question.
okay.
Okay.
So if you say it is a good thing or bad thing, Sureka, I would say I will not conclude it, but I would say there are some possibilities that you can be the same person both in office and both in your outing as well. It doesn't mean that you have to wear a different hat in both these places. You can be the same person whenever I go to outing, or whenever I'm in office. I'm the same person, but being the same person with proper healthy boundaries, understanding where I should stop, where my healthy boundaries are, what kind of conversations I have to establish, takes a lot of inner work. But there are possibilities to be the same person also. However, I also empathize with the fact that sometimes, yes, if we exhibit different behaviors, we might be judged for that.
Thank you,
So,
Divya.
Sureka, I just wanted to answer why do you wanted to think that even it is a good or bad about that? She answered, approached same way, but I am directly giving that same thought. Why do you even think about? Shift your mind that. Why do you even think that it is a good or bad? There is other feeling, there is other emotion. There are only not two emotions, Surekha. There are,
Mhm.
I know there are 573 emotions. I will prepare a chart and I'll give it to you. That is, even IC Agile gives. So what I'm trying to say, we do not know many emotions. We might be having that emotions many times, but we don't know that emotion. So every emotion, if we have to quantify and map it to good and bad, it is very bad. Actually, that is bad I am feeling. So
Right.
why do you think that it is only two categories, good or bad? That's a feeling for you. Okay, don't think that,
Yes, Anand.
don't think that it is a bad or good feeling. It can be any other feeling. See, now you asked a question. I was feeling very excitement, that's also a feeling, but I hold on to hear Dibya and then answer. Are you getting it? So that's
Yes,
also a
Anand.
feeling. Are you getting
Right.
me?
Yeah,
So
yes,
I
Anand.
just thought of saying that there are a lot of other emotions. Okay, just feel it, that emotions, and emotions are actually speaking, you are not speaking,
They're a
Sureka.
messenger.
That's all. Yeah, exactly. Anyways, we are over the time by 3 minutes. So thanks for the participatory audience, I have to say. And thanks, Dibya. Thanks for you paying time and paying with us for this. So this would be very great opportunity. At least I guess the audience would have got a different flavor. Okay, so they would have definitely understood. And yeah, as an as an individual, I do wanted to say my vote of thanks. And yeah, anybody wish to go for this learning and this particular space, please connect to Divya. I am saying it. So yeah, that is all mentoring and all. So yeah, so do you think that ICF PCC and ICF PCC only is that journey for psychological? That's the last question. Or do you have any other certifications and all, do you
And yeah,
think?
see, I'm a person who don't
Hmm,
believe that certification is the only thing that gives you the knowledge. You might have
exactly.
experience with Anand, like when you are
Yes.
a certified Scrum Master, when you are an experienced Scrum Master, there are a lot of difference, right?
Hmm.
Likewise, even though life coaching gives you a certification, you also have to have some kind of personal experience working on yourself, working with a psychologist or a therapist, and understand how do they deal with their journey. And very importantly, when you're telling some techniques to your client, first you have to implement it on yourself first, and you have to see whether it is working and what kind of challenges that I face in implementing it, so that only you will be able to connect with your clients. So if you wanted to have a journey in life coaching along with your certification, parallelly you have to also work on yourself to become a better version of yourself, and that's how you will be able to connect with the kind of challenges that your clients are having in their life.
So it is a kind of practice, practice, practice. That's what
Yes,
I'm listening.
practice.
That is all.
Absolutely,
So
Anand.
how do you
Practice.
practice? Where do you practice? Wherever you get, there only you practice. Kind of message you are trying to put,
Yes,
right? So
right.
yeah, that is a note. That's a note, end note. Probably. Thanks Divya again for timing
Thank you.
and all this. We will see how could we look forward. And yeah, if any questions, anything, yeah, she is available in LinkedIn and you can connect with her. That's all. The end note. Thank you again, Divya. Thanks
Thank you so
everybody.
much.
Thanks
Yeah.
Rajkumari.
Yeah.
Thanks
Thank
for
you,
being
Divya.
co-host.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Thank you so much.
Thank. It was
Bye.
lovely listening to you and
I
your.
have, I guess, one
Yeah.
question
Hmm.
came.
Okay.
Late question. Priyanka, go ahead.
No, I don't have any question. It's by mistake.
Oh, by mistake. Okay. That by mistake is also good. At least you spoke.
Okay.
Okay. Anyways, thank you.
Like, yeah, I have one question for Divya. I just want to know, you are having a full-time job and also doing, this coaching at the side and also speaking on various forums. How do you keep yourself motivated and how do you manage your time?
Yes, actually, honestly, I am very much not able to manage my time. What I do is I delegate the task that doesn't require my presence. For example, if you take my home, I have a cook, I have someone who help me with sweeping and vessel washing. So these kinds of things can run with or without my presence. But when it
Mm,
comes to family time, or when it comes to spending time with my husband or my father, I can't negotiate it. So everything that is non-negotiable and it requires my presence, for example the podcast requires my presence. So
mm,
You know,
these
three
kinds of
times,
things
three
I take
times
it
I have
on my head.
3 times I tried to reach to Divya before three within
Yes.
week, and I could not reach. Every time she said, "Okay, we'll talk tomorrow for 5 minutes." Then sometimes if she is ready, then I am not ready. So it happens. That is how, again, that is also an emotion. So that's all I can end it up.
Yeah,
Anyways,
this is how I just delegate my task, Rajkumari. And second thing is I take a lot of me time for myself. I just create space to be with myself. For me, I am saying it, and it is not just about saying it. I also have to practice it, right? So now
mm,
after this I have shoot for my Instagram also, after this
mm,
podcast. So I take a lot of time for my well-being and regulating my emotions, sitting with my emotions, self-reflection. So that takes almost 3 hours every day morning. So I need that me time, the recharge time a lot, to having this hustle culture.
mm.
yeah, reboot
Thank
is
you so much,
needed.
Divya.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thanks, Divya. Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank
Thank
you. Have a
you.
great day.
Bye.
Thank
Yeah, have a
you.
great day.